Each week brings us closer and closer to update 1.0. There is so much new stuff coming. Weather, boss fights, quests, new dragons, faction play, new game modes, new server features, new skin systems, new skin mechanics, mutations, and just so much more. Let's take a look at what's happening behind the scenes. Be Awesome has launched a new set of emote packs on the Day of Dragons website. Each emote pack will add 4 new emotes: Affection, Challenge, Distress, and Mourn to the dragon for roleplay purposes. These emotes are purely cosmetic and provide no in-game benefit. These 4 new emotes make 9 emotes for each dragon if you count the 5 standard emotes, and there will also be a new unlockable emote in the game that players can get through questing, which makes 10. Patreons get an additional 2 emotes, Laugh and Rage, which will bring the grand total up to 12 emotes. Don't worry though, they are going to be adding an emote wheel to make it easier to use emotes, especially with controllers. That will probably come after the 1.0 update. 4 new playable creatures will be available in the 1.0 update. This includes the Infernalravager, the Biolumine, the Blitz Striker, and the Magma Elemental. The Infernalravager will be the 3rd starter dragon in the game, and like the rest of the starter dragons, this species will automatically be unlocked on all servers and players will be able to spawn as them right away. The Infernalravager is a fire wyvern and will be able to engulf itself in its own fire for its special ability. While on fire, the dragon will be able to burn away any acid decay and make itself immune to additional acid attacks. The developers are currently in the testing phase for the Infernalravager. They have finished all of the required animations and models for its initial testing phase, and have done quite a bit of combat polishing to balance it with the other 3 current species. The next step in its development will be testing the baby and juvenile models and animations. Now, let's talk about the Bio Dragon. The first Kickstarter dragon to join the game's roster will be the Biolumine dragon. This dragon is a Kickstarter exclusive, meaning only Bio Dragon key holders will be able to spawn in as this species. Other players will have to be nested in each time they wish to play as the Biolumine. This is a 100% cosmetic dragon that will be able to hover like a hummingbird and is the fastest flyer in the game. Its bile attack will be a bioluminescent spit that causes other dragons to glow. Like the Infernalravager, the Biolumine dragon's animation set is complete, but there are still a few things that need to be finished. Currently, they are in the process of creating the nest asset, which I have been told will hang from the side of a cliff. More on that later. And they're working on its bile attack in the test server. The final dragon for the 1.0 update will be a Blitz Striker. This dragon will be a DLC species. You have to purchase the key on the website in order to play as the dragon whenever you want. Other players will have to be nested in each time they wish to play as a Blitz Striker. This will be the game's first, and I have a hard time saying this, but Amphitheater and Lightning Element. It will be able to emit a powerful electric pulse and stun the creatures around it. Currently, they are polishing the Blitz Striker's animations, and once those are done, they will work on bringing it fully into the test server. Soon they will be working on the baby and juvenile animations once the adult ones are polished. Like the Biolumine, they are currently working on creating a nest for the Blitz Striker. If you would like to pre-order the Blitz Striker DLC, you can do that in the description below on the website. That's right there. Yeah, yep, there. But if you want to win one, comment Electromagnetic Blast into the comments below. Dragons will not be the only playable creature in the 1.0 update. The Magma Elemental will be the first elemental species to join the roster, and will also introduce faction play into the game. Elementals are the sworn enemies of dragons, and players will need to figure out how to unlock these monsters in order to play as them. Magma Elementals will have multiple attacks and will be able to throw objects to knock down flying dragons. The Magma Elementals are currently being tested in the development branch. They are working on perfecting the animations, combat, and faction play. Faction play brings a lot of new exciting functions to the game. Elementals will not be able to view global chats, and neither faction will be able to understand the other in local chats. They will be featuring the Elemental in the next YouTube livestream, likely coming sometime this month. While the team is working on bringing new dragons to the game, they're also working on improving aspects of the current dragons in the game. As many of you remember, the first dragon brought to the game was the Acid Spitter Drake. The developers chose this one because of its simple design compared to the winged dragons. They were able to learn and experiment with creating the dragon and have really been able to perfect their technique more and more with each species after. However, looking back, they were able to spot some things that could use improvement. The main issue with the acid spitter was its lack of armpits. The structure of its arms causes the stretching of the torso when the arms are brought forward, like in a walking movement. While not extremely noticeable, they felt this was a good time to fix the issues that they had and touch up on the textures to give them more definition. The shadow scale also had similar issues with its underarms. They had actually discovered this while creating the Flamestalker. The dragons made after the shadow scale do not have this issue. In addition to the armpits, they noticed some of the other areas in the dragons that needed to be fixed. Some players may notice an issue where the back scales do not move properly with the back of the dragon when they're walking. They tweaked the back of the model to help keep those spikes in place. They also removed an annoying chin point on the model that made it look a lower quality than it actually is, as well as improved the overall textures. The next dragon to get a touch up is the Flamestalker. The devs are currently working on the tweaks to its textures to give it a better overall look and with more detail. Be Awesome is currently working on finalizing the Biolumine's nest. This dragon's nest will have two different forms, a wall-mounted and ground-mounted nest. The nest itself is made from the sticky saliva of the Biolumine and emits its own light. This was inspired by real-life swiftlets who make their own nests out of saliva in cavern settings. The Blitz Striker nest is also being worked on. It is inspired by the fulgurite, I think that's how you say it, the formation created when lightning strikes sand. The Biolumine egg is also getting its own special effects. Unlike other dragon eggs, you'll be able to see the growing fetus inside the bio egg. As the egg matures, it will become less and less transparent until the egg eventually hatches in a cute little bio dragon baby. To get this effect to work, the visual effects artist had to sculpt a fetus version of the Biolumine dragon to fit in the egg. In addition to dragon-related assets, they're also working on environmental assets for the Shimmering Caverns and other landscapes. The Shimmering Caverns will be home to bioluminescent flora and fauna, as well as natural structures that emit their own glow. This biome will be filled with environmental assets not found anywhere else in the world. Recently I asked, what ideas do you have for Day of Dragons that may not be in the game yet? And you came up with some amazing ideas. Mimi B says, animations such as picking up food, throwing it into the air and snapping it up. Excellent idea. Blue Fox 8011 said Oriental Dragons, and I thought, how have we completely forgotten about this entire subspecies of dragon? Excellent idea, and I'm hoping the devs are watching because I think that's a great idea, and we should definitely see some of that in the near future. Dione said some more maneuverable dragons. Dragons that'll be able to do barrel rolls and loop-de-loops in the air, as well as other air tricks. Excellent idea! Now, they also mentioned that they'd like to see mods, and once the game is established, I think they're going to allow mod support. We're going to see, but I do think we might see that in the near future. Sparrow's Art Cave said, I'd love to see accessories in the game, maybe kinds that you can find by exploring the map, which I think that's going to be what the pearls are going to be. And then they also mentioned maybe a scarring system as well. They did mention they were considering doing some sort of scarring system, so hopefully your dreams come true. I think that's a great idea. Now, me personally, I have my own personal thing I would love to see in the game. And do you remember those Matchbox cars that change colors depending on if they were hot or cold? How amazing would that be to have as a skin? When you're in a snow biome, you're one color, but if you're in the desert, you're a completely different color. I think that would be amazing, and I'm hoping that they are watching, because if they could make that a reality, it would be awesome.